I really struggled at first to identify just one object that reflected or summarised or symbolised my faith. After all, faith for me is principally cerebral and spiritual rather than physical. But then I realised that as an Anglo-Catholic, my faith does have an obvious and important physical component, engaging all the senses, for example, in the use of incense and in making the sign of the cross. And suddenly the choice of my object became obvious. I acquired it many years ago when, working as a government lawyer, I went not only to St Matthew's in Wimbledon, but on occasion to St Matthew's, Westminster. And it was there that I first saw the Anglican Rosary. It consists of 33 beads, divided into 4 groups of 7 beads, with additional separate and larger beads dividing up the groups. The beads themselves can be made from a variety of materials, including precious stones, wood, and coloured glass. But the beads on my own rosary are made from wood, and I like the contrast between the simplicity of the materials and their construction, and the complexity of the things they signify. The groupings of beads are called weeks, and the beads separating each grouping from the next, known as cruciform beads, are generally larger than the beads which make up the weeks. When the loop of beads is opened up into a circular shape, the cruciform beads form the points of a cross within the circle of the set. Now, the mathematicians amongst you will have realised, I'm sure, that 4 groups of 7 beads, each separated by a further larger bead, gives a total of 32 beads. And so the rosary is completed by a further single bead, known as the invitatory, which links the cruciform to a cross or crucifix. The number 33 has particular importance for Christians for several reasons, not least the fact that Christ lived here on earth for 33 years. And the number 7 signifies the days of creation and the seasons of the church year. But none of that explains why, of all the objects I might have chosen, I decided that this one best represents my faith. Well, the rosary is most often used as an aid to prayer, and over the years I have had the most profound experience of faith when I pray. Unlike many others I have heard speak about their faith, I have never heard God talk to me exactly as another person might in everyday life, nor have I seen him appear before me in physical form. Which means that, like many others I have heard speak about their lack of faith, I sometimes have doubts and worries. Is the Christian story on which I have been raised really true? How can it be when there are so many horrors and tragedies in this world which seem somehow to go unanswered? How can it be when friends who were once resolute believers lose their faith following the painful and drawn-out death of a loved one, or the refusal of the church in which they have worshipped all their life to accept their child because he is gay? And I find when I speak to these friends that I have no easy answers, no ready comfort to provide. But I know that when I pray about them and the challenges they face, I feel a sense of peace and reassurance that I am unable to find in any other way. Or, as someone more eloquent than I once almost put it, I am reminded that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in my philosophy.